I love that we all come together to support one another, to help really drive and boost the industry that we are in.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining our first webinar session of the day today. It is nearly at the end of our Back to Basics week, and today it's all about spa. So our first session today is with Skeyndor, with Lauren D'Ambrosi, who is the corporate trainer of Madi. Thank you for Skeyndor for sponsoring today's session. And today's session is all about instant results with a live facial demonstration, and then Lauren will be talking about common skincare problems. So like always, there is an opportunity to ask Lauren questions at the end of the session. So please put any questions you have into the Q&A box or the chat box. We are streaming live on Facebook, on Professional Beauty's Facebook, and also Madi International. So whoever's watching, welcome. And again, there is an opportunity to ask questions, so feel free to pop your questions into the comment box, and I shall ask them at the end of the session. So, Lauren, thank you for joining us today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
Good, we're really well, thank you. So, I will put my screen off and I will leave you to it, and I will see you at the end of the session.
Okay, thank you. So, hi everyone, my name is Lauren and I am the corporate trainer from Madi. And today we'll be focusing on express treatments with wow results. And because obviously we're with Skeyndor, we will be focusing on using the brand of Skeyndor. But I will try to also interlink certain ingredients that may be in other brands. You can also incorporate these into your express treatments as well. So as we know now, we are in a strange situation where we don't have so many clients that are coming into the salon. They want to come for quick services. Maybe they want to do multiple services at one time. Maybe a manicure, pedicure, maybe a facial at the same time, or their hair and a facial treatment. Or even sometimes they don't want a facial treatment at all. So for the clients that we are getting into the salon, we really want to catch these clients and show them what we have, and try not to leave them going out of the salon empty-handed as well. Now, with express treatments, as I mentioned, it's something that we can introduce to the client. So with Skeyndor or any other brand that we have, normally in the brands, an express treatment is like a taster, just to show maybe if they like the brand, the products that you're using, to see a small result. Normally, express treatments we don't see fantastic results with, but it's more, as I said, like an introduction for your client. But today I want to speak about how we can get the best results in a short amount of time, so that our client is left wanting more. So maybe if they are able to come another time to have a full treatment, or possibly it will also lead us to pushing the retail side from our individual brands as well. Now, with our express treatments, as I mentioned, they're short. Normally, they can be from 15 minutes, 20, up to half an hour, depending on what we're offering, maybe if we're doing extractions or not. But now, with our express treatments, as mentioned, we want to really capture our clients. So we need to think about what types of ingredients we're using in our treatments that will give the best and instant results. Now, one of them that I can talk about off the top of my head might be vitamin C. We all know that vitamin C gives almost instant results of brightening. We know it's an antioxidant, anti-aging. Again, with hyaluronic acid, we can, depending on the brand or the ingredient itself of hyaluronic acid, it can have instant results for the fine lines and wrinkles that are caused by dehydration. But today, we're going to use a express treatment from Skeyndor with one of our newer lines. We'll be using the newer line, which is My Mask. And these are designed for the express treatments to give instant results. They are short treatments that we can give a mask for 5 minutes and combine an exfoliation. But when we are doing an exfoliation on our client, we need to think about what we will use, whether it's going to be a mechanical scrub, something with the granules, or a chemical scrub, something with acids or enzymes. Now, normally, or especially in the Middle East, our clients tend to go towards the granule scrubs because they think with a physical scrub, the rougher it is, the better the result will be. And this is not always the case. If you're all familiar with the epidermis of our skin, this is the layers that we see, or what we see on the surface of our skin. We have 5 layers in the epidermis. And when we are doing a scrub with granules, these are only working on the very surface of the epidermis. So we can see it on the first layer. However, if we introduce an exfoliator that has acids, has enzymes, this is where we can really show the true results of a treatment. And this is not just for express treatments, this is also for your full treatments as well. Your full 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, however long it will be. So when we're using acids and enzymes, our enzymes actually they get to work down to the 3rd layer of our epidermis. And if we introduce acids as well, they can go deeper down to about the 4th layer. And depending if we use electrical equipment with inside the treatment as well, we might even be able to get right down to the 5th layer with our exfoliation. And when I'm saying this, it sounds very dramatic that we're working down to the 4th and the 5th layer. But it's not going to cause any physical peeling. What happens is when we are using an acid or an enzyme as our exfoliator, it can go through all of the layers of the skin and it starts to renew and rejuvenate all of those layers. And it's starting to activate the cells again. And as we know, on a younger skin type, our skin cells renew normally every 28 days. But once we reach the age 30, our skin cells start to slow down. And it might be every 29 days, every 30 days that our skin cells are renewing. So whilst we are doing the treatment, we can also speak with our client, informing them of the mechanical scrub, the granules, informing them or introducing a new kind of exfoliator with the acids and enzymes, and how really they're going to give the client the best results. And that's what we're going to use today in today's treatment. I will use one of our My Masks, which contains 10% alpha hydroxy acids with glycolic acid as well. And it's still quite gentle on the skin, but our client will have amazing results at the end of the treatment. And again, when we're looking at certain ingredients that we're using, as I mentioned, vitamin C is another ingredient that will give us instant results to give a nice brightening glow of the face, especially if they have little marks of pigmentation. If they're in the Middle East, most of us have a dull or a slightly tanned and dull complexion. We can really give a great result with some of these treatments and some of the ingredients that we have. So what I will do is I will bring my client over, and through each step I will explain what I am doing. Of course, I will be using my products that I have from Skeyndor, so I will explain a little bit about our products, and I will try to relate them to maybe some of the brands that you also might have in your salons and how these different products work on the skin. So just before I get my client, I will put my mask on. So now it's mandatory in any salon that we should wear a mask. Also, ideally, we should be wearing a visor as well, but I think it's a little bit difficult for you to hear what I'm saying. So I will just make sure I'm wearing my mask, and I will have my client here. So I will just bring my client over. So if I can take my client, can you turn that around for me? Can you wait? So I've already done a consultation with my client. I know that she doesn't have any allergies. She doesn't have a sensitive skin. I will just tie her hair because she has lovely, beautiful long hair. So as mentioned, she does not have any allergies. She doesn't have sensitivity or any irritations. And always, whenever you are doing an express treatment or your regular facial treatment, it's so important to do a consultation. We need to know if the client has allergies, if she's had any peelings in a salon before, maybe if she's had Botox or fillers. There are many contraindications for doing a facial treatment. So always we should be conducting a full consultation before we begin any kind of treatment for my client. So now I will just remove her mask. And then we'll just put and as mentioned, in the salons now, it's very important that we're following the correct protocols, always wearing a mask, and if we can, we should be wearing a shield as well to protect ourselves and also our client. And we should be sanitizing our hands. I wash and I sanitize my hands already, but for the sake of my client, so she knows my hands are clean, I will just go ahead and use my sanitizer again. So, as you can see, I have my client on the bed here. And I mentioned earlier about incorporating treatment with all together. So it possibly might be that my client is looking for a manicure or a pedicure. And we can introduce an express treatment at the same time. Either she could have a express facial whilst in the manicure chair and we conduct the manicure while she's on the chair. Or the other option is like I have my client now, she can come into the treatment room. So she's having a private room to herself. And myself, I will be doing an express facial and someone else can be giving my client the manicure at the same time. So we have different ways that we can do it, depending on the size of the room, how many people are allowed into a small area, or if it's in a larger area, an express treatment while she is on the manicure table, and another therapist for the hands, and possibly even for the feet to try and have the client come in as quick as possible, or to leave as quick as possible. Okay, so I will start first by cleaning my client's eyes and the face. So I will use from Skeyndor, we have our Aquatherm eye makeup remover. And this is perfect for anyone with sensitive skin. Also, inside my Aquatherm eye makeup remover, it does not contain any oil. So for any clients that wear eyelash extensions, we should not be using an eye makeup remover that contains oil. So again, from any other brand, you need to try and find one if your client has lash extensions. Try to avoid using an eye makeup remover with oil. So for my eye cleanse, I've just applied my product and I will cover my eyes. She just has a little bit of mascara and eyebrow makeup. And I will also do for the lips. So even though my client isn't wearing any lipstick, I should always cleanse the lips. Just to make sure maybe she's had coffee, she's a smoker, maybe she has a nude lipstick, and we don't really see it so much. So I will start with my lips first to clean her lips. And followed by the eyes. And really, when we're cleaning the eyes, it's so important to try and clean them gently to remove all of the makeup from the lashes. Especially at the end, the client doesn't want to see that she has lovely panda eyes. And this is always a tip. Before you finish your facial, check that the client doesn't have any makeup underneath the eye area, because once you give her a mirror, she will just focus on the imperfections that she sees rather than the result that you've spent the time to achieve. So I'll just try to do this a little bit faster. And I always like to go on top and underneath the eyelashes. I'm not sure if you can see very well on the video here. But for my lashes, I like to go on the tops of them and then right the way underneath the lashes as well. I'm just explaining with my hands so it's easier for you to see. Okay, so I've finished with my eye and my lip cleanse. And now I will start my cleanse for the face. Now my client doesn't have so much makeup on and I want to do an express treatment. And I can start with my regular cleanser. So I can use a cleanser for an oily skin, a dry skin, sensitive combination. Or now with many brands, we have micellar cleansing water. And micellar cleansing water is now like a hero product in many brands. The micellar cleansing water is a combination of oil and water together. For every brand, the micellar is the same. It's almost like an oil and a water together. Now, we don't need to shake it. And this one is not like a two-phase system. For the micellar, they're combined together. So this means that it's still not going to damage for any client that has lash extensions. And how the micellar works is Once I apply it to my cotton pads, and then use on my skin, the micellar, what happens is the oil particles act like a magnet. So as I am cleaning the skin, the oil that is in the micellar attracts the oil from my client's skin and is absorbed into the cotton pad, whilst the water transfers and it helps to hydrate the skin. So micellar cleansing water is almost like a 2-in-1. It's a cleanser or makeup remover and also a toner. So I will just use one more to really make sure that my client's skin is clean. Okay, so just one more time. So the micellar, as I mentioned, it's really an intelligent cleanser, let's say. The oil is absorbing the oil from our skin and the water from the micellar is transferring to really hydrate my client's skin. And in general, when we are doing facial treatments, we should always try to keep contact with our client's skin, as I'm doing now. Rather than lifting one hand and another, we should try to work together so that it feels nice and comfortable and relaxing for my client. So now that I've finished my cleansing, in my micellar cleansing water, it already is, as I mentioned, 2-in-1. It's a cleanser and a toner together. However, if really I want to add extra moisture to my client's skin, I can go ahead and use my Aquatherm Mist. Okay, this is a thermal concentrate water, and inside here, this one is from Skeyndor, and it uses a very special thermal water from France, which is extremely high in minerals and trace elements. We have around about 26 or 27 different minerals inside. And this one specifically is great for a sensitive skin. For the water that Skeyndor are using, it's very high in magnesium and low in calcium. So this is great for anyone with a sensitive skin to rebuild the barrier inside the client's skin that we have. So I will just go ahead and spray this for my client. Just keep your eyes closed and take a breath for me. And normally with water mists, depending on the brand that we are using, especially for Skeyndor, it enables the skin to stay hydrated for 24 hours. So this is really a great product to be using to keep the skin nice and hydrated. Now, I do know there are mists available from other brands, and they're also able to hydrate the skin up to 24 hours, just depending on the brand that it is. So now that I've cleansed my skin, I will start with my exfoliation. And as I mentioned to you earlier, if I want to use an exfoliator with granules, this is only going to work on the very surface of the skin. We will feel more of a smoother texture, but that's about it. So today I'm going to use an exfoliator that also contains the acids and enzymes, has 10% alpha hydroxy acids, to really work deeper down through the layers of the skin, to renew the layers of the skin and to give a brightening effect. So I'm going to use my Mask fruit jam. And also in here, it does contain strawberry seeds. So this also, it's two exfoliators. It's mechanical and chemical at the same time. So I'll just... And you don't need a lot. We need around about, depending on the face size, around about 5, maximum 7 ml of my exfoliator. And of course, we need to do a small amount of exfoliation because we have the strawberry seeds inside. So it will give a mechanical exfoliation. And our face doesn't stop just here. Our face goes all the way down to our décolleté as well. So I can just apply my exfoliator and then I can start. Sorry, this is a mask and exfoliator. So 2 in 1. And the smell of this smells exactly like strawberries, so it's a nice smell for my client as well. Now, when we are using acids or enzymes, we need to check as per the brand if we can use them for a sensitive skin. For the one that I'm using now, it's not suited for sensitive skin, but I do have other exfoliators that are great for a sensitive skin. Normally, in general, anyone with a sensitive skin, we should try to avoid mechanical exfoliators, the ones with the granules, because they will create an immediate redness effect. So now that I've applied my exfoliator all over the skin, or my mask, sorry, I've used it as an exfoliator, I will now leave it for 5 minutes as a mask to work deeper down through the layers of the skin. Okay. So do we have any questions at the moment? Just whilst I am waiting to leave this a little bit for my client. Okay. So I do.
Do you want me to go through some questions now, or should we look at them later?
Yes, we can answer 1 or 2 questions just while I'm leaving my mask on the skin to work a little bit deeper.
Perfect. I don't know if you're going to be going through more of a product kind of specifications later, but there has been a question about someone with problematic and pigmented skin. What products would you recommend for patients for that?
So I can talk about what we have definitely from Skeyndor and in general as well. So normally when we have pigmentation, first and foremost, we must try to avoid going out into the sun because this will, of course, it's encouraging more pigmentation. And they need to make sure that they are wearing an SPF. However, of course, we then, just by giving our client an SPF, they're not going to be happy. So we can use something like I just used on my client, my mask fruit jam. Because it contains AHAs, it helps to renew the skin cells a little bit, but this is only really working on the surface. Now, from Skeyndor, we have 2 or 3 lines that are great for pigmentation. Some of them we can relate with other brands as well. So we have from Skeyndor, we have the Power C line. So inside our Power C line, it's quite self-explanatory. It contains the vitamin C. And vitamin C is great as an antioxidant for the skin. And depending on the type of vitamin C that is used, we're able to help focus a little bit more on the pigmentation, but normally vitamin C is better just for brightening or very, very light pigmentation. Something that works a little bit more deeper might be our retinol. So from Skeyndor, we have a Power Retinol line. And this one is great. Again, it's almost like a multi-purpose product. Everyone should be using retinol, and retinol is great whether you have acne, you have pigmentation, you have signs of aging, dehydration, and retinol in general is able to work through all of the layers of the skin to renew and repair the layers of the skin. Now, if someone is really, they have quite deep pigmentation, then we might need to focus more on peeling. And from Skeyndor, we have a line called Derma Peel, which is amazing to really completely renew the skin altogether. Now, with any type of treatment, we need to give it time to work. We're not going to see, we will see a result after one treatment, but it's not going to fix the problem. And especially with the Derma Peel, it's a peeling. It contains 50% acids. So really it's working quite deep in the skin and it's working quite strong. And for Skeyndor, with the Derma Peel containing 50% acids, we're on the same level as what a clinic is offering for the peeling as well. So this is really great to work down to where the melanin is being produced. And the peel is actually working to inhibit the enzymes that are creating the pigmentation and also to renew all of the layers of the skin as well. So as Skeyndor as a brand and also in general, we can do peeling such as our Derma Peel, but this is better to do more in the winter time, or if I know that, again, now everyone is trying to stay indoors and isolate, then it's possible I could use this if I know that I'm staying home and not going to the beach. For retinol, this is another line from Skeyndor, but also other brands have retinol, which are able to work with pigmentation. And vitamin C is more for very light pigmentation or to act as a preventative to stop anyone getting the pigmentation from the beginning. So I think I hope that's answered the question.
No, I think it has. That was great.
So now,
have you got time for one more, or shall I leave you to it?
I will just start to remove this.
We'll come back to questions, but keep them coming, guys. There's loads of questions here now.
So now I will just take my towel to remove my mask. And even with my client, you can see already how much her skin is brightened. And if you're using an exfoliator with granules, really you need to make sure that you remove all of the granules. It's not nice for the client to feel them left over on the skin. And also, if we're doing an exfoliation with enzymes or with acids, we really need to clean the skin thoroughly as well. So normally I go up and down the skin 2 or 3 times to make sure it's all nice and clean. Normally with an express treatment, we don't tend to do extractions. This is normally left to the full treatment, or some salons, they offer it as an add-on service. I will just blot my client's skin. And already, just from having the mask with the exfoliation inside, I can already see that my client's skin is a little bit lighter and it's really bright. She's glowing, so she's ready maybe to go to a party even, if there were any. So now I have from Skeyndor some professional ampules which are available for professional and retail. We have 10 different choices depending on what my client might need. So I have something for hydration, for lines and wrinkles, for lifting, for brightening, and also for very dark pigmentation. Okay, but if I was to talk about the Unicure that we have, I can take maybe 1 hour of your time only talking about that. So for today, again, in relation a little bit with the pigmentation or instant brightening, I'm going to use my Brightening Glow Concentrate from Skeyndor. And this contains 10% of vitamin C derivatives. Now, there's a slight difference between pure vitamin C and vitamin C derivatives. When we're using pure vitamin C, it's very unstable. When I apply pure vitamin C, if anyone has a sensitive skin, it can be very irritating for the skin. And also when I go out into the sun, or if my client goes out into the sun, the pure vitamin C is quite reactive to direct sunlight and to the heat as well. So with Skeyndor, we are using derivatives, and sometimes these are working deeper down. They absorb faster, they absorb better into the skin, and they, in general, the function of them is a little bit better than a pure vitamin C. Just before I start, I will just spray again my Aquatherm Mist. So we're almost at the end of my express treatment. So I cleansed my skin, which was maybe 2 minutes. Then I did my exfoliation and left my mask on for 5 minutes. So total would maybe be 10 minutes without all of the talking. And then I can go ahead and put my Unicure ampule. So with these, most brands have some kind of ampule, okay? And with Skeyndor, they come with a little tube to help me open it. And also an applicator, so that if there were to be any breakage from the glass, it's not going to go onto my client. Now, from the brightening solution, for my brightening solution, it's a little bit more of an oily texture. However, it's not going to affect someone with an oily skin. My client has a little bit of a combination skin. But as mentioned, with it being more of an oily texture, this does not mean that someone with oily skin cannot use it. It's only the texture, but it does not contain oil itself. So I can just start to apply my ampule just to spread first. And then I can do a light massage for my client. And again, remember all the way down to the décolleté as well. When we're using vitamin C, or in my case, vitamin C derivatives, we need to try to be careful around the eye area as it's very sensitive. We should only use an eye product with the vitamin C around the eye. So the rest I can take in my hand so that I can do a nice And depending on the focus, we can do different massage techniques. This is only an express treatment, so I don't want to be doing too much, otherwise my clients will only want express treatments. But we can try with a little bit of lifting. If we want more of an energizing treatment, we can go a little bit faster to promote the lifting of the neck. And also the ampule will dry a little bit faster. For the jawline, we can really, it's now in fashion to have this Texas jawline. So we can focus on massaging and draining around the jaw. And we can lift on the cheeks to give a lifting effect. And the same each side, we can have more of an effect for lifting, doing like a fanning movement. And one place we need to focus on as well is the top lip. So we can just have a small amount of massage around the lip area. And of course, we don't forget the nose. The nose, doesn't really need so much massage, but we need to apply the product because we want our clients to feel the benefits. And we can finish on the forehead with nice effleurage movements. And ironing out. And additional, if we have time, we can go around the eye, but not close to the eye. And always, it's nice to finish on the temples rather than just finishing anywhere. So always finish on the temples. So my last part now, I've done a mini massage for my client. My last part is to apply my finishing cream. So here I have the Power C, which contains 3 derivatives of vitamin C that really work with brightening the skin. She has very faint pigmentation spots. She doesn't really have any pigmentation exactly, more of an uneven tone and a tiny 1 or 2 pigmentation marks. Now, if I have a jar, I should never dip my finger into the jar. Even if I know my hands are clean or I've just applied a product, I know that I have an ampule on my hands. I should always use a spatula. And with any cream, literally, you only need a tiny amount. I always like to say like a fingertip amount on your pinky finger. That is enough, if you can see there, enough cream for the whole face and neck. So again, I can just warm in my fingertips, apply small amount all over, and again I can just follow with this, some massage techniques so that it can be absorbed into the skin. And now just going back to the question that you gave me earlier, Emma, regarding the pigmentation. Pigmentation can come from many different things. The first one that we know is the sun. Another one, it might be maybe hormonal issues, or if the lady has been pregnant and she gets the butterfly pigmentation. And also recently it's been discovered that the phone, the iPad, the TV, all of these devices that are emitting a blue light, they also create pigmentation in our skin. So from Skeyndor, they actually discovered this, and they were the first one to create an SPF, which contains a blue light technology. So you will see this maybe on the adverts on the TV. There's some brands that have an SPF with blue light technology. And also from Skeyndor, we have this SPF. So not only is the SPF protecting the client's skin from the sun, it's also protecting from the blue light from the iPhone that we're using every day, we have in front of us, the TV, the laptop. And again, I need the tiniest amount of my SPF. SPF, you don't need a lot at all, half the amount of your regular cream. If you can see, it's not even a pea size. And again, just warm in the fingertips. So I have that, and again, apply to the skin. So normally if I was doing an express facial, it would be very short because I'm not talking. But for just for the purpose of today, I'm explaining each step and about some of the ingredients that we might use in our treatment. Okay, so from the beginning, I'm not sure now, maybe it would be better to take a before and after picture. But now we can see that my client's skin is a lot brighter, it has a healthy glow. We can definitely see a difference in her skin tone. Maybe if I can just turn to the camera. Okay. So as mentioned earlier, so this is a great way to introduce your brand to the client. Also an express treatment that will be paying a little bit less money for the treatment. But with this one, we're able then to recommend more products for our client to use at home. For any treatment, whether it's an express or a full treatment, yes, the client will see results today, but if she doesn't continue with the treatment, the effects of the facial will not last very long. So always I should recommend retail items for my client to use at home to get the best results depending on her skin type. Okay, so I've now finished, and if we have any more questions.
Amazing result. I can see the glow even through the computer screen.
I don't know if she can sit up and have a nicer view of my client's face. Just look at the camera. Yeah, so she has a nice, beautiful glow now.
Yeah. Gorgeous results. Thank you, Model. Yes, so we do have some questions. Is having an express facial before sun exposure on the beach or after, or is it better to have after sun exposure? Which is more beneficial?
Yeah. I would definitely say if the client is, if she's planning on going into the sun and maybe it's the weekend or it doesn't matter when, I would always say it's better to have a treatment after she's maybe been to the beach or after she's been sunbathing, because some of the treatments, if we are doing exfoliation, we should avoid going into the sunlight, even just from exfoliation as well. So always it's advised to have a treatment after she's been in the sun. But maybe if it's like the weather that we're having now, we need to be careful. Maybe she's booked a treatment for this evening, she's gone to the beach, or maybe she's sunbathing by her pool, but maybe she's then got sunburn. So again, we need to be careful, because if the skin is now burnt, we either cannot do the facial, or we need to do something that is more for cooling, calming, hydrating, and maybe she's not going to get the best result that she wants because we're focusing on a different problem at that time.
Okay, fab, thank you. Do you advise wearing gloves when doing facials?
Yes, actually we started the treatment, I realized I didn't have my gloves, but obviously my hands were thoroughly cleaned. I've scrubbed my nails, my hands, I've used the sanitizer as well. So I have really thoroughly cleaned my hands, but I would suggest, especially now, it's best to always wear gloves, as it's not just for the sake of my client, but maybe my client has something at the moment that I can also contract it. So it's not just for the comfort. Of course, it's in a normal situation, I would say, personally, I prefer not to use gloves when I'm doing a facial because it's more relaxing and you don't hear the sound of the gloves, you don't have the plastic feeling. But especially now with the COVID-19, we should be always wearing gloves, not just for my safety, but for the safety of the client as well.
Yeah, absolutely. What products or treatments would you suggest for acne-prone clients?
For acne-prone clients, again, as mentioned earlier with the pigmentation, from Skeyndor we have two lines. So one that I mentioned earlier was the Retinol. And Retinol, it was, in general, as an ingredient, it was first discovered, or it was used in the 80s, specifically for acne. But later on, they found that it had many different benefits for scarring, for lines and wrinkles, for hydration. So retinol is almost like a hero ingredient that is amazing for acne, but also we can be using it for the other concerns, because most people, they do have maybe the acne, but maybe she has lines and wrinkles as well, dehydration, scarring. So retinol is a great ingredient, and also the Power Retinol from Skeyndor is amazing for clients with acne, but they need to make sure that they're not taking the medication. Another line that we have, which is specifically designed for an oily skin or for acneic skin, is the Clear Balance line from Skeyndor. It's a little bit more gentler, but really it's still focusing on any clients that have an overproduction of sebum as well.
Okay, fab. Can you explain the difference between physical and chemical sunblock?
Okay, yeah. So a physical sunblock is one that it acts almost like a shield on the skin. So a physical sunblock will apply, it might be like your titanium dioxide, which is the white color, creamy kind of consistency. This one with the sun rays, as I mentioned, it acts like a shield to reflect the sun. Now, what a chemical block does is it allows some of the rays to penetrate the skin, but they are absorbed and dispersed into the skin. So still, always I would recommend to use both a physical and a chemical sunblock because they're both working in slightly different ways. You might find though with a physical block, it's not so good for someone with an oily or acneic skin.
What about black and white heads? Is there a product or a treatment that you can suggest out of the Skeyndor range that can help with that?
Yeah, so in general, blackheads, whiteheads, it's a concern for everyone. Now, if a client is having a professional treatment, inside all of our professional treatment, the therapist can do the extractions. So whether she's having a treatment such as the Clear Balance for the oily or acneic skins, we can do the extractions. Or if she's having an anti-aging treatment, again, we can do the extractions. But in general, if it's a specific product, we need to be using some type of exfoliator. And also, salicylic acid is a great ingredient that helps to unclog the pores as well. So I can use my mask that I use today as double it up as an exfoliator and a mask to help with the black and white heads. But we still need to follow with the extractions. Additionally, we have another one that contains volcano sand and charcoal, again to help detoxify and draw out all of the oils, the dirt from the skin. But normally you'll find with just using an exfoliator, it's quite difficult to remove the black and the white heads. We need the exfoliator to assist with the job that we are doing. So we might want to use either our fingers as the extraction, or also we have from Skeyndor, and I know in other brands, we have the spatula. It's the ultrasonic spatula with a metal tip that's used for blackheads, for exfoliation on the skin, and it can also be used to help serums to penetrate into the skin as well. So there's a few different ways that we can remove the blackheads physically, but we need an exfoliator to assist us as well.
Okay, fab. Rana from KSA, hi, thank you for joining us, has been asking questions about water in between the treatment that you use. You didn't use any warm water.
So I clean the skin and I use my micellar cleansing water. So this is a cleanser and a toner at the same time. So it's attracting the dirt and the makeup and hydrating the skin. Then once I had my mask on, I then used a cloth that had water. This is now it's not clean one, but this is what I used on the skin that has, you can't see it, but it has water inside. It's my towel. So these are disposable towels that we are using. So that's the water that I'm using, but I don't need to use sponges as I'm using disposable towels. It's just a different method for cleaning. I can use sponges, I can use maybe wet cotton pads, but they're not so nice. I can use the towels that I use or the reusable towels, but at the moment, everything must be disposable.
So are you using disposable towels because of COVID, or is that something you've always used with your lines?
Actually, with Skeyndor, they tend to focus with the disposable towels anyway. But depending on maybe the salon or I'm trying to think of the word, depending how the salon wants to provide the treatment, we will work with the salons as well. So we do like to use disposable towels or disposable sponges, but some of the salons, they might maybe use the reusable towels, but they should always be boil washed on like 90, 100 degrees.
Okay, fab. Right, final question, so we're running out of time. Best product for anti-aging?
It depends on the age of the client, to be honest. And maybe is it only anti-aging or do they have other concerns as well? And again, going back to one of my favorite products is the Retinol. Everyone should always be using at least one product in their routine with Retinol, because this acts as your exfoliation, it's your renewal, and it's helping to repair all of the layers. So Retinol, no matter what skin type you are, Retinol is great for anti-aging, for the hydration, for any uneven skin tone, scarring, pigmentation. Really, the list can go on with Retinol on the benefits of it. But aside from that, one of my most favorite ones from Skeyndor we have is the corrective line. And this one is, we call it it's like a topical treatment for Botox and fillers. Inside the corrective line, it contains two Botox-like ingredients. One is a Botox-like ingredient, the other one is snake venom-like ingredient. And these both work to relax the muscles. And another one, we have a hyaluronic acid filler that's almost like, we can say like dehydrated hyaluronic acid. And once it goes into the skin, it balloons up 30 times its size to really plump up the skin. So the corrective line is like Botox and filler, either for the clients that are already having Botox and filler and they want something to assist, or anyone that doesn't want to go down the invasive route. They will also see amazing results, and it's one of my favorite ones.
Amazing.
You will see for all the lines and wrinkles, they will start to disappear within a few days.
Sounds great. At what stage in your beauty routine or skincare routine, sorry, would you use the retinol?
It depends on the product. So from Skeyndor, we have a serum and cream and a cream. But maybe from other brands, it might be that you have a retinol cleanser, again, a serum, cream, depending on the actual product, will depend on the position in the treatment. But normally, if it's a cream, we would use it at the end of a treatment, or a serum you would use before your cream. For Skeyndor, we have a serum and cream together, so it's 2 in 1. And I can use that rather than using 2 separate products. I can use it after I've cleansed and toned. I will use the retinol serum and cream, or I can use any other kind of serum if I want maybe a hydrating serum first, and then I can put a retinol cream on top. But normally it's if it's something more powerful, then it's better to use at night. But if they're a lower grade, we can use them morning and evening, as long as we're wearing SPF on the top as well.
Yes, SPF is very important, especially in the Middle East. Okay, thank you, Lauren, for a great informative session there. And thank you everyone so much for joining us today. Up next in an hour, actually, we have a Back to Basics massage technique session. So we're looking forward to that. And then at 3 p.m, Jeanette Watts will be online talking to us about reopening strategies. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Lauren, and great to see you again. And stay well, everyone. Stay safe, take care, and see you very soon.